Hello guys, there's a lot I want to talk about in my presentation, but I have to do the super abridged version so I don't run over time. So I'll start by running through my program. Here you see the, I'm going to get this out of the way so it's not distracting. So here you have the start screen. At that one push button, you hit the start button, runs you through the program. It's 100 of these little circles that you gotta click as fast as possible. I'm just kind of autopiloting, so I'm not really doing this too impressively. But yeah, the main thing about this program is that it is very easy to run, even on low-end computers. And I do this on purpose because I know for the purposes of this project, it doesn't matter whether it's efficient or not, because modern computers aren't going to have any problem just doing this. But further down the line, if I were to make this into a real 3D application, I would still want it to be able to be ran on low-end computers. That's kind of the point of using this over just playing some kind of first-person shooter, is that if you don't have the specifications on your computer to do such a thing, you shouldn't have to suffer through playing on 20 frames per second to get some practice in. So you can just use this program while you're watching a movie or doing homework. Or pretty simple to do. Just click the targets. Gives you your stats right here after you hit 100 targets. Give you 20 misses. Your accuracy, 83%. Just not very good, but again, I was just autopiloting. And it'll give you the total time it took you to go through 100 targets. It's got these two buttons right here, the play again and the exit. The exit will close out of all of the figure windows, and the play again will run you through the program again. And I'll just click on it, show you that it works. And there we go. I'm not going to run you through 100 more targets. So yeah, let's get into the code. Basically, the main menu has one button, the start button, and it's got one callback. And the callback closes the current figure, which would be the main menu screen, and opens the main application. So not much to explain there. Moving into the main application, you got canvas.png. That's what it loads in. That's the background. Very important, because without this you wouldn't be able to despawn your targets correctly. So you load in the canvas. It shows the canvas on the figure. You set all these arrays and global variables to 0. That's just so that I don't have to create a separate reset function. It does it automatically in the start of the function. It works well when you only have one game mode, so I decided I was just going to do that for timing purposes. Speaking of timing, you've got a timer right here. Basically what this does is it records the time it takes for you to go from target 1 to the last target. And you'll see the finish for the tick over here. I use tick and talk twice. The second tick inside of the while loop to get the individual timing between targets, pretty much. So inside of this while loop, you've got the on-click command. Going here to on-click, you can see it's not too fancy. I'm using G-input just because this works the best with how my program runs. This really minimizes the amount of code that I had to write, almost by half, believe it or not, because I was using button down function and it just did not work very well. So I ended up settling with G-input. It does give me the cursor for a couple of frames every time I click, but it's not too noticeable, and I will eventually find a way around that. But for now, it really suits the purposes of this project. So we've got this loop in here, which pretty much prevents the user from moving on to the next target until he clicks the current target, and this block of text right here despawns the previous target, which is what I was saying before. It's going to create a rectangle with the curvature 1, 1, makes it a circle, and takes the position here of the previous rectangle, and then puts it into this new definition, and it pretty much paints over it in the color of the background, which is 888 right here. It's not too much else here that's interesting. I'm just setting whether the user hits or misses the target. You're gonna return the coordinates to global variables in their respective arrays. There's not too much left in the main application aside from this block right here, which is just setting all this stuff to global variables so you can access it from this result screen. And this figure, here's the reason why I used one-dimensional arrays, is that I used a scatter function in these two inputs right here. A and B and C and D have to be vectors, one-dimensional vectors. If they are not, scatter does not work. So that's the reason why these are in 4 arrays rather than 2. Again, not too much to explain. All of these are just text boxes that set the string to these global variables, so you can return the number of hits, misses, accuracy, all that good stuff. And you've got these 2 buttons right here. Finally, the exit button right here, this one's the exit button, which closes everything, the all keyword right here. And then you've got the play again button, which closes the result screen and opens the main app. And then when you go back into the main app, as I was stating before, you've got all the stuff reset to 0, and you start fresh. And that's pretty much it for the code. Again, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching.